Miranda's routine at the roadside diner was like a well-rehearsed symphony, with each movement orchestrated with precision and care. The familiar sights and sounds of the diner, bustling with travelers seeking respite from the road, created a comforting backdrop to her day. With her apron impeccably clean and her smile as warm as the morning sun, Miranda navigated the bustling diner with ease, from the weary truckers in need of a caffeine boost to the family seeking a quick bite before continuing their journey. She greeted each customer with genuine hospitality. As the day unfolded, Miranda found herself immersed in the ebb and flow of diner life, her keen eye observing the diverse array of patrons that passed through its doors. She savored the brief glimpses into their lives, imagining the stories that lay behind their weary smiles, hurried conversations. However, amidst the familiar rhythm of the diner, a sense of unease crept over Miranda as a family of three entered the establishment. Though they appeared like any other travelers, there was a subtle tension in the air and unspoken discomfort that caught Miranda's attention. When she approached their table with her usual warmth and hospitality, Miranda couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The little girl, with her hesitant movements and weary gaze, tugged at Miranda's heartstrings, stirring a sense of concern within her, offering them a friendly greeting. Miranda watched as the family settled into their seats, the air thick with unspoken tension, sensing that there was more to their visit than met BEI. Miranda braced herself for the unexpected, her instincts on high alert. Little did she know that the simple act of serving this family would unravel a chain of events that would leave everyone in the diner trembling with fear. Miranda, with her warm smile and attentive demeanor, approached the table where Ed, his wife, and their daughter sat. "Good afternoon. What can I get for you today?" she inquired cheerfully, eager to assist them in selecting from the diner's menu. However, Ed's brusque manner and sharp tone immediately set Miranda on edge. "Let's make this quick. I'll have a burger and fries, and you—" He barked, his gaze shifting intimidatingly between his wife and daughter. The weary expression on the wife's face didn't escape Miranda's notice as she hesitantly perused the menu before she could decide EDS and patience boiled over. "Choose already, damn it! We need to get back." On the road, he snapped, his frustration palpable quickly. The wife settled on a white sandwich and juice for both her and her daughter. The tension at the table thickening with each passing moment, Miranda sensed the unease radiating from the family and offered reassurance, "I'll bring your meals out shortly." She promised, her voice a soothing contrast to the strained atmosphere. As Miranda retreated to the counter, troubled thoughts swirled in her mind. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss with the family. Turning to George, the diner's owner, she voiced her concerns. "Did you see that family? There's something off about them. The man's demeanor is aggressive, and the wife and daughter seemed frightened," she confided, seeking his perspective. George, ever the voice of wisdom, offered a pragmatic view. "People have their bad days, Miranda, but keep an eye on them. Just in case, you can never be too sure," he advised, his words carrying the weight of experience. Though she tried to focus on her tasks, Miranda's mind remained preoccupied with the troubled family. She prepared Ed's order with practiced efficiency, all the while pondering the dynamics at play. When she returned to the table with his meal, Miranda couldn't help but notice Ed's dismissive attitude towards her, a stark contrast to her genuine concern. When she watched the family, particularly the silent young girl, Miranda's heart went out to them. It was clear that beneath their facade of normalcy lurked deeper issues with a heavy heart. Miranda retreated to the counter, her gaze lingering on the troubled trio, hoping for a glimpse of resolution amidst the palpable tension. Miranda, feeling a growing urgency to understand what was happening with the family, observed. As tension slowly began to surface, the little girl with restless eyes and a trembling voice, hugged tightly by her mother, couldn't contain herself any longer. "Mom, I need to pee," she whispered urgently. The tired-looking woman glanced hesitantly at her husband, her voice a mix of firmness and apprehension. "Honey, can I take her to the bathroom?" she asked, her eyes betraying her silent plea for permission. "No, you're staying here," Ed replied, his tone laced with subtle menace, hoping his words would go unnoticed. But the woman persisted, her concern for her daughter outweighing her fear of confrontation. "But darling, she needs to go," she insisted, her voice wavering with a hint of defiance. Ed's indifferent posture and coarse demeanor intensified as he glared at his wife and daughter. "I don't want you two alone," he stated firmly, his words dripping with disdain, summoning a bit of courage. The woman sympathized with her daughter's plight. "Ronald, do you want to have stop on the road for her to relieve herself?" she reasoned, her voice tinged with weariness. "Fine, you can go, but make it quick." Edie grumbled begrudgingly, his resentment evident in his tone, while the mother guided her daughter to the bathroom. Miranda watched with growing discomfort, sharing her concerns with the owner. She voiced her unease about the family's dynamics. Something is very wrong with that family. The way he treats his wife and daughter is really disturbing. She confided, the old man sighed sadly in response. Unfortunately, some people just don't know how to treat the most precious things in their lives. It's sad to see a father, a husband with that kind of temper. He lamented. Miranda's concern deepened as she realized the mother and daughter were taking longer than expected in the restroom. Back at the table, Ed's impatience boiled over his gaze, darting around the diner with growing irritation. When Miranda returned with the mother and daughter sandwiches, she was met with Edie's impatient stare. "Where are those two disgraces?" he demanded, his anger simmering beneath the surface with forced calm. Miranda explained their delay, but Ed's irritation only grew. He abruptly rose from his chair, intent on fetching them himself. Sensing the impending confrontation, Miranda intervened. "Sir, you can't go into the ladies' room." "But don't worry, I'll check on them," she assured, hurrying towards the restroom. Inside, Miranda found the mother and daughter emerging from one of the booths, their expressions hurried and slightly shaken. Approaching them discreetly, she inquired, "Hey, is everything okay? Your husband seems a little tense." The woman, avoiding direct eye contact with Miranda, replied in a shaky voice, "Oh, it's just the stress of a long trip. You know how it is. Children get impatient, and sometimes he gets angry." The little girl, with downcast eyes and a sad expression, simply nodded in agreement. "Well, if you need anything, please tell me." "Okay," Miranda offered before they returned to their table. The man greeted them with unparalleled irritation, monitoring reproaches and complaints. "What took you so long? Can't you even pee straight?" he asked, his impatience palpable. "The queue was long, dear," the woman replied, attempting to remain calm in the face of his hostility, lowering her head. Upon hearing this, the husband cast an intimidating glance at her and their daughter, saying with a sarcastic smile, "Oh yeah, just wait until we get to the car. I'll show you what it's like to be really full of it. Now eat that damn sandwich and hurry." "Yes, sir," the wife replied obediently. It was at that moment that the little girl, almost breathlessly aware of Miranda's presence nearby, made a subtle but significant gesture under the table. Away from her father's eyes, she opened her hand and revealed a huge X drawn with red lipstick on her palm. Her eyes, large and pleading, met those of the waitress, conveying a silent but urgent plea for help. When Miranda saw the sign, she felt a shiver run down her spine. She knew that sign. It was a distress call often used by women in situations of violence. The waitress almost couldn't disguise her concern. A little girl, only 4 or 5 years old, with a red X in her hand. She thought it was deeply disturbing. What kind of things had this little soul suffered? The young woman continued her work, trying to appear calm, but her heart was racing. She knew she had to act quickly to help the girl before it was too late. Miranda ran with a sense of urgency and acted swiftly after seeing the girl signal for help. She discreetly approached George, the owner, and whispered urgently, "Mr. George, for God's sake, call the police right now." That little girl drew a red X on her hand. She's crying out for help, understanding the gravity of the situation. George immediately went to the kitchen to call the police, while the old man rushed to the office to make the call. The waitress kept her eyes on the family, observing the impatient man's every move in the frightened expressions of the mother and daughter. She could feel the tension in the air increasing with every passing minute. My God in heaven, poor things. She reflected an anguish feeling, an anticipatory ache in her heart. Nestled close to a local police precinct merely a half-mile away, the roadside diner stood. This proximity proved to be a crucial advantage when trouble arose. It wasn't long before officers quickly arrived at the diner in response to an urgent call. Upon entry, one officer inquired who here called the police, and a nearby table, a man, in an attempt to maintain his composure in front of his family, urged them in a low but sharp tone, "Quick, finish eating this meal. We need to leave immediately." It was at this moment that Miranda, alongside the diner's owner, approached the table with the officers in tow. "I'm the one who called. Please come over here." She directed her voice study, the man. Now the center of attention grew visibly agitated and retorted, "Is there a problem here? We're just trying to eat in peace." Miranda's gaze softened as she turned to the young girl at the table. "You asked for help, didn't you, Princess? It's okay. Can you tell us what's happening?" Despite the intimidating presence of her father, who threateningly whispered, "Go on, tell them everything is fine." The girl, inspired by her mother's silent encouragement and Miranda's supportive presence, tearfully confessed, "He's going to hit my mom once we're in the car." The mother, overcome with emotion, broke down, validating her daughter's fears. "It's true." The officers acted swiftly, detaining the man as he protested. "That's a lie. They're conspiring against me." Miranda then revealed to the officers a distress signal the girl had crafted, an X marked in red lipstick. She did this in the bathroom using her mom's lipstick. "It's a signal I saw on television for when she's in danger," Miranda explained. The girl, through her tears, confirmed, "I did it because of the times Daddy hurts us." This revelation deeply moved everyone present, including the officers, who are reminded of their own families and felt a profound sense of indignation. "So you think it's all right to mistreat women? Ha! Let's see how you fare in jail." One officer sternly told the man as he was arrested, reminding him of his right to remain silent. Despite his desperate claims of innocence, the evidence and testimonies against him were overwhelming. In the aftermath, the waitress and the diner owner offered the mother and daughter refuge in a quieter part of the diner, providing them with comfort and reassurance. This act of kindness marked the beginning of a safer chapter for the family, away from the fear and violence they had endured. In an act of unimaginable courage and quick thinking by a young girl and her mother, found themselves in a terrifying situation that seemed impossible to escape while seeking refuge in a diner. The little girl, shaken but determined, accepted her mother's offer of staying put until they were sure it was safe. "Okay, I'll bring you some juice." the girl's mother said, trying to maintain a semblance of normalcy amidst the chaos as they stood together, grappling with the reality of their ordeal. The mother couldn't help but express her awe at her daughter's bravery. "My God, honey, how could you be so brave? Mom is so proud of you," she said, her voice filled with a mixture of pride and relief. The little girl, still reeling from the fear and pain, admitted, "I didn't want him to hit us again. Mom, it hurts so much." In that moment, they shared a hug, a silent acknowledgement of their shared trauma and relief. As time passed, the tension in the diner slowly dissipated with the arrival of the police, who brought news of the man's apprehension. They assured the mother and daughter that he would be held in custody while an investigation was underway, a crucial step in the judicial process. "Don't worry, you'll be okay now, ma'am. We're here to ensure your safety," one officer said, offering a beacon of hope to the traumatized duo. This assurance allowed the mother and daughter to share a moment of relief and embrace the prospect of a future free from fear and violence. Thanks to the young girl's ingenious use of a simple signal, a red X drawn on her hand with lipstick, they were able to signal for help and escape the clutches of their abuser. This act of bravery not only saved them, but also served as a powerful example to others, as they began to rebuild their lives away from the shadow of violence that had loomed over them. The mother vowed to create a nurturing and safe environment for her daughter, one filled with love and devoid of fear. The story of their escape, facilitated by the observant and quick-acting staff at the diner, underscored the importance of being vigilant and responsive to signs of distress in public spaces. It became a beacon of awareness in the local community and even gained attention on television, highlighting the discreet ways individuals can seek help in dangerous situations. The tale of the little girl's bravery and the symbol of the red X on her hand spread far and wide, emphasizing the message that no one should suffer in silence. It served as a reminder that simple acts of courage can lead to monumental changes, offering hope in a way out for those facing similar nightmares. This story not only moved those who heard it, but also reinforced the importance of standing up against violence and injustice. It reminded everyone that there are always ways to seek help, and that the symbol of a red X on one's palm could be a lifeline. As this story circulates, it continues to inspire others to be brave, to fight for their safety and justice, and to remember that they are not alone. That's all about our story. If you like this story, please like and subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next story.